FTL, which is an alpha demo available on the OnLive service, which is a free download. It's only a half an hour demo, but that's more than enough, and it does mix things up with random encounters, so it's not the same each time. I've had a lot of fun with this, and I'm going to show you a little bit about it. So let's go straight in. Here's your intro. It calls this start area a simulation of what will happen later on. You won't get much past this in the half an hour unless you rush through it, but it's, as I said, more than enough for you. Here's your ship, and I'll explain the UI. Up here, self-explanatory, your hull. When that reaches 0, your ship blows up, everything dies, game over. This little cogwheel here is scrap. That's the currency they use in the game. The FTL drive. Once that's highlighted jump, you can jump to the next planetary section in the sector. Your store. That's when you reach a area that has a store in it. There's your upgrades. Use that to improve your ship. With that you spend your scrap. So you've got to save up your scrap. Scrap's used for a lot of things. Personally, I don't think there's enough scrap in the game at the moment, but it's all subject to change. It's only an alpha. Here you have your shields. Each one of these sort of rounded squares represents number of hits that the shields will take before they're down and your hull is exposed. They do recharge as long as your shield generator is working, which is the little S down here. As long as that's running, your shields regenerate and you'll be able to put up a bit of a fight. This is your fuel. That means 16 jumps before you run out. That's your missiles, which are used in certain weapons like the Artemis down here. Now I have noticed that because you start with these two weapons, it does seem to randomise them between 1 and 2, which is a little bit confusing, but you can move them around. This here is drone parts. I believe this is used when you've got a drone controller on your ship. I don't, so I've not experienced it yet. Here you have your percentage to evade shots, which is based on your engine power. So if you see I increase power to the engines with a click, that increases up to 15%. Your oxygen supply. When your oxygen centre here gets damaged, your oxygen goes down and does not replenish. So you've got to keep your oxygen up or your crew members will die. This down here is your shields, your engines, your oxygen, your medical centre and your weapons, and this is your free available energy. So you see I've got 2 there, which means I can actually charge up the lasers, but I can't charge up the rockets. If I did want to do that, best off taking out the medical bay, seeing as there's nobody needs medical attention. So there you can see I've got both weapons charging. Once they go green, you can fire them. Here you've got your pilots. You've got to have that working to charge your FTL drive to jump or to evade. Here are your sensors. That's both in your ship and in the enemy ship, and also the enemy's energy usage. You can upgrade that to be able to see more, basically. And these are your doors. Although it looks like a pause symbol, which had me very confused the first time I played, it is actually a door system. If you see here, I can click on a door, it'll open, and because it's to the outside, it voids the area of oxygen, so that's gone pink, so there's no oxygen in there. When I close it, you'll see that the oxygen count will go back up. There we go. Which is the oxygen refilling that room. It's a little bit slow. Let's see if I can open the door, see if it'll increase it a bit quicker. No, it makes no difference. So that's the summation of the ship. Basically, keep everything running and you'll do fine. So let's just quickly jump. Now this randomises each time. You've got to get to the exit to get to the next sector. However, along the way you get these different dots you can jump to, which have random events in them. Now there's no point me going to the store because I can't buy anything yet. I haven't got enough scrap. So we'll push on. Okay, first encounter, an auto bomber. Now he's only got 1 shield, which means that my burst lasers, which fire 2 lasers at a time, will get through the shield and do a bit of damage. Missiles ignore shields altogether, so that's irrelevant. Here it tells you a little bit about what's happening. It does not engage us, seems to be patrolling along in a sensor station. Sensor stations, if you get to them, they tell you all the surrounding areas, what's in them, what isn't in them. It's quite handy to have. and also destroying things gives you scrap. So I'm going to attack it and show you the combat. Now, if I press space, it pauses the game. This is integral. If you don't pause, you lose. I didn't realise you could pause the first time I played through, and I got decimated, and I couldn't understand what went wrong. So I went back, played the tutorial, and explained what I was doing wrong, and since then, it's been a lot easier and a lot more fun. Now, here you can see he's got a rocket launcher, and he's got a missile launcher. Sorry, a missile launcher and a laser launcher. Is it a launcher? Or it's a laser cannon? There's his weapon systems. If I take that out, his weapons go down. He can't jump. He can't evade. His shields go down, and he can't jump away. He can't evade either. So those two pretty much do the same thing. The shields, his defences, and his weapons, obviously his offences. Personally, I like to take down the shields first. It just makes everything a lot simpler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpause. I'm going to let the weapons charge up, and then I'm going to start hammering away at the shields. You can click auto fire, but that just causes your ship to fire random places. It doesn't target fire, so it's not effective at all. You're much better off doing it manually, even though it's a bit more work. That's okay. Now you can see he's got a hit on me. My shields have vanished. If he is laser fired twice, he would have hit my hull and would have done damage. As it is, he only fired once, as you see there, which means that he didn't get through the shields. There will, however, be a missile on its way shortly, but my shields wouldn't stop that anyway, so that makes no difference. Right, now that my lasers are ready, I can press 1, which will give me a crosshair, and I can click on any of the main systems. As I said before, I'm going to take down the shields. That fires 3 times, it's better than I thought. I'm not going to use my rockets because I've only got 8 of them. So once my lasers are ready again, I'm going to fire on the shields once more, just to make sure that they don't come back up. Although saying that, because it's not got any crew members, I don't think he can repair it anyway. Now you see I've taken a bit of damage. I've actually got a hull leak there. There's nothing I can do about that. It just means that area I can't send crew members through, which is disappointing, but it's not the end of the world because I've got other routes I can send people. And I'm going to send a couple of guys down to fix my engines, because that's affecting my capacity to get away. If I take one more hit, my engines will go down. So let's send some guys through that way. My lasers are ready. And there goes the ship. And I got 29 scrap from it. And as I said before, the sensor station has told me detail about the surrounding area. So let's let them repair. Tried this. I'll just see whether they can repair the hull damage. They can. That's good. However, they are going to take damage because there's no oxygen in that area. There's nothing to do about that. I'll just have to make sure that I get them back to the medical centre afterwards and divert a bit of energy to the medical centre. And you can see there all the little circles coming off them. They're healing up nicely. And let's send them back up to the front. Right, and that's the combat. Now that we've done that, I'll show you the upgrades. Right, here we have the system menu for the upgrades. Here you have your shield bars. It takes 2 lots of upgrades to get an extra shield. It's very expensive. As you can see, it takes 60 scrap between the 20 and the 40 down on the right hand side there. I would show you with the cursor, but it disappears, obviously. Nab. Here you have the engines. Not very expensive and quite helpful to increase the speed of your fast and light drive charges and your dodge. Your oxygen, the speed your oxygen refills. Your weapons increases system power. You need to have that basically to get better weapons. So if you get a better weapon, you don't have the system power. Tough, you can't use it. Here you have your medical bay. That does what it says on the tin, really. There you've got your piloting. You need to have a pilot to charge your fast and light drive. If you don't have a pilot in the cockpit, your fast and light drive will stay where it is. You've got to have one in there. However, In certain situations, you will take a lot of damage, need all 4 crew members repairing things, in which case you don't want to sacrifice on evasion. With this upgrade, you can have some evasion, regardless of whether you've got somebody in the cockpit. Here you've got your sensors. You start off with a pretty good upgrade on that. 60 to see the enemy's power usage isn't necessary in my opinion. And the door system, improved blast doors, stops fire spreading. And your power bars I think I've already covered. So that's that in a nutshell. And that's FTL. Now if I tell you a little bit about it, it's currently in a Kickstarter project, which is over at kickstarter.com. I'll put a link in the description. Basically, if you pledge to back this project, bearing in mind that it's already 4 times as much as they needed to make this project happen. The project is going to happen, which is brilliant news. But you can pledge now and help them make this even better. For only £6, Great British pounds, you will get yourself a DRM copy of the game when it comes out later this year. They're estimating on about August 2012, and it's coming out Windows, Mac and Linux. You can also pledge an extra £10 more. For £16 you'll receive your DRM copy of FTL, but you'll also get access to the closed beta, where you can play the unfinished game and you can suggest ways to improve it. For £25 or more, you're starting to talk about a bit more towards big games, not indie game price here. However, you receive the rewards I've already mentioned with the DRM copy of FTL, your access to the beta, but you also get a PDF with the artwork, and you also get a digital copy of the soundtrack, and you get a thanks in the game's credits, which is quite nice. If you've got £25 going and you think this game is something which you really have been looking for, and to be honest with you, I think it's a brilliant game. It doesn't look outstanding, but it's a tactical game. It doesn't have to look outstanding, and it's quite tasteful in the art style that they've gone with. Then I think £25 isn't a bad price to pay. Personally, I'm backing with the second option, the £16, because although it's a game which I think will give me a good number of hours gameplay, there are other games coming up which I think are more important to me, and I don't think it warrants £25 in my honest opinion, but your opinion may be different. So go over, have a look at it, and if you like it, please back it. I think it's a brilliant project. You can play this demo. As I said before, it's on the OnLive service. It's not a great piece of service, not a great service in my opinion. It's a little bit laggy because the way it works is it uses the processors and the computing power of the OnLive service rather than your own computer, so you do get a little bit of sort of syrupy feeling with you're playing. The responsiveness isn't quite there. It's more used for people who are going to be playing heavily intensive games on a laptop, so take that as you will. I don't think it's a great service, but it enables you to play this game. You get half an hour and you can replay it as many times as you want. So yeah, thanks for watching.